In the world today, protecting a country's borders is vital.
It is seen as a gateway to the UK.
These are the men and women in uniform responsible for safeguarding Ireland's borders. Stopping.
Look at me, behind the yellow line.
Searching.
Have you been stopped at a checkpoint before?
We just listened to me.
And seizing drugs, arms and illegal goods.
If anyone tries to harm me, that dog will tear them to shreds.
Saving lives.
I'd say about 200 kilometres per hour.
And protecting Ireland's inhabitants and millions of visiting tourists.
You could have been here 100 times. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get in the 101st time.
They police the ports.
But you have to make sure there's definitely nobody underneath the vehicle.
The airports.
Why did you tell me you weren't working?
And the roads.
These are very badly damaged straps.
If you can't drive the truck, shouldn't be on the road.
These are the Border Interceptors. Coming up, a failed former asylum seeker returns to Ireland. But will immigration officers let her in this time?
When were you here?
2003.
A checkpoint outside Dublin has the traffic cops seizing illegal vehicles off the road.
There's too many things wrong with it.
And problems with a passport risk a passenger's entry to Ireland.
I can't find anywhere to land the stamp.
I think it's stamp.
A record nearly 30 million passengers travelled through Dublin Airport in 2017, the majority from Europe, followed by transatlantic flights. But 2017 also saw a record 850,000 passengers arriving at Dublin from other international destinations, including the Middle East and Africa.
Chile, Santiago, capital.
Okay.
With increased international passenger numbers comes an increased risk of people attempting to enter the country illegally. Department of Justice figures show that the Republic of Ireland is facing its highest level of asylum claims for a decade. So it's vital that officers at border control continue to scrutinise passengers to make sure they are entitled to visit or stay in the country. Working at the non-EU passenger booth today is Officer Ray Flannery. The family arrives at his desk, and Officer Flannery begins the process of assessment.
Have you been here before? When were you here?
2003. As an asylum seeker.
The woman admits she travelled to Ireland before, in 2003, when she applied for asylum. Her application was refused. Officer Flannery needs to ascertain why she's returned to Ireland, this time with her family, and if she intends to apply for asylum again.
And why come back now?
Because my daughter has expressed her interest in growing in Ireland so she could grow with the culture.
Have you any documents from the Irish government?
It appears the couple are not seeking asylum, but have no documents or visas to allow them to enter Ireland. Instead, they reveal important information they believe allows them to enter the country.
No, we apply and they get website.
As their daughter was born in Ireland, she has an Irish birth certificate, which the couple are able to present to Officer Flannery. This immediately changes everything. Born before the 1st of January 2005, their child is an Irish citizen and entitled to be in the country.
Yeah, stand right back to the wall.
And as her legal guardians, her parents are also allowed to enter the country. Officer Flannery processes them. Taking their photo for the immigration database, he grants the family an initial 90-day stay in the country.
Now you must go to local police in Ennis within 3 months and they will register you there and extend your time. They have the child's birth cert and Irish passport, so they have proof that the child is Irish and is entitled to be here. Just push.
Despite previously being denied asylum, the family are allowed into the country and are making plans.
At least my daughter will have the chance of, mixing with, the Irish people, so that when she grows up, she's not left out. Otherwise, if you're an Irish and then you come here and you're a stranger and in your own country, So I'm happy that my visa application went through and I'm finally here in Ireland. I'm really happy.
Patrolling the roads outside of Dublin Airport are traffic officers Paddy McElroy and Philip Earle. Stationed on a major route linking Dublin and the rest of the country, the officers have set up a roadside checkpoint to spot check vehicles and to get those breaking the law off the road. Officer McElroy pulls over his first vehicle.
How are you, sir? You know your taxi's out of date here? Oh, you have your mobile phone in your possession as well? So that's 2 different offences you committed in the space of 2 seconds. All right? Sort it out, will you?
Given it's just out of date, on this occasion the officer lets him off with a verbal warning.
The taxi's only 0418. Obviously he's trying to avoid it. So you can see the first car we stopped.
The officers pull over any vehicle that looks suspicious or has been flagged for out-of-date tax.
How are you, sir? A few issues there. Did you? Well, pull in there for a second, will you? Just want to have a chat with you. Can you tell me what's the story of the tax?
And it's not long before another car is stopped.
Right, do you have any proof that you just bought on the 19th of June? Patrol, I'm just looking for a reg check in Balbriggan if I could, please.
While waiting for the registration details to come through, the driver reveals something else about the car that doesn't help his cause. A failed National Car Test certificate.
So failed on the front suspension, anti-roll bars, seats, child seat in the back insecure, side lamps, and the intensity of that wasn't the correct. I have to get all those checked.
The results of a radio check come through, and it only adds to the situation. The driver has lied about the purchase date of the vehicle. He's had plenty of time to ensure the car was road legal. There's only one option for Officer McElroy.
All right, Gareth. You have this since the 5th of February, do you? You bought it and sold it and bought it again. You know this vehicle's going to be seized when you don't understand that? Yeah? The vehicle's not NCT'd. There's just too many things wrong with it. Under Section 41 of the Road Traffic Act, the vehicle's going to be seized, of which I'm going to give you documentation where you can get it back.
With one car seized and a queue of cars waiting, Officer McElroy is straight on to the next vehicle.
Right, so your tax is out a year? It's not taxed in the next month. I'm going to be ringing and we're checking. I want you to produce the document and say that you've changed it back into your own name.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah.
As her tax is only just expired, the driver has a month to provide evidence she has re-taxed her car. But it's not looking so good for the next driver.
What's the story? You've no insurance? You've no insurance?
No, I have insurance. So.
With a number of Shannon's flights arriving from non-EU destinations, border control is tight, and all procedures are followed to the letter. A flight has just arrived from Boston, and the immigration officers are performing the checks at passport control. Sometimes, remembering your passport isn't enough.
How long will you be here?
Entry-only stamps are issued in the Republic of Ireland. They're granted by immigration officers, giving you official permission to enter the country.
You're running out of room, ma'am.
And having room for a stamp is a requirement.
Your passport is full. I can't find anywhere to land a stamp. You can be turned back for that, you know that. It is actually a reason for refusal. I don't know if many people know that or not, but they can be sent back.
It's a worrying situation for the passenger.
It is actually up to the person who owns the passport to make sure that there's enough room to land a stamp. You might find somewhere where I'd be able to stamp your passport.
The husband takes a look. If they can't find room for a stamp, she can't be officially granted permission to land. She faces the very real possibility of being separated from her family and forced to fly home to Boston alone.
How big is your stamp? Like that size?
Yes. I'm going to try and find some corner of your passport to do that.
The officer makes his decision.
But there are other jurisdictions that wouldn't accept this, you know.
Thanks very much.
You're going to run into trouble eventually, you know. If a stamp can't be landed by an immigration officer, not just in this jurisdiction, but probably pretty much in every other jurisdiction, they can be sent back.
She's free to enter the country on this occasion, but she might not be so lucky next time.
Last time they told me to get more pages, but I didn't do it. Just time to get a new one.
I'd welcome smaller stamps for a standard passport. People are travelling a lot more these days, going in and out of countries that don't have visa waiver programs, so I think it'd be probably helpful.
He said, you need to get it fixed, and we could see what we should see.
Operating a roadside checkpoint on the outskirts of Dublin, officers McElroy and Earl are stopping and seizing vehicles that shouldn't be on the road. And having already claimed one car, it's not looking good for another driver, despite her arguments.
No insurance?
No, I have the insurance. So
You're not
putting the insurance.
No, this vehicle's being seized now, okay? You're not driving this car further than here.
It's very stressful for me.
Yeah, well, if I let you drive 2 minutes down the road and you're involved in a crash, you've no insurance. What's that make me look like?
No, because I'm only going to park.
I know you're only going. You could only be driving into that driveway and still be taking it. You've told me.
The problem, if it's live there, we need to pay the money. That's the problem.
But you have told me you've no insurance. That's a big offence.
Because if you don't want me to lie to you, have the insurance, you can't see it.
No. So the vehicle is being seized.
No, I know it's seized. So can I get your name? Maybe?
Yes, of course.
I
will write my name on this. And you want to make your way down to the motorway and you get the taxi home.
To get their cars back, the drivers need to produce valid tax and insurance documents. And it needs to be done promptly. If the cars are not claimed after 3 weeks, there's a possibility they will be crushed. Detective Garda Mick Lally is on duty at Dublin Airport, checking passports and helping to safeguard Ireland's borders. The next visitor in line is an American lady who has arrived to work with the charity looking after elderly people.
And who are you working for here?
Friends of the Elderly. It's a non-profit based in Dublin.
Where is it?
On 25 Bolton Street.
And do you have a date for return home?
Yes, August 20th.
And you definitely go on that date, yeah?
Officer Lally has to ensure that the information she is giving is legitimate. If it doesn't check out, he could put her straight back on a plane to the US. Meanwhile, at Detective Garda Ray Flannery's booth, a young Australian girl has handed over her passport. But Officer Flannery isn't happy.
Problem is that you've had a refusal in the UK, so that generally creates a problem here. If you've been refused there, you don't generally get permission to come in here. And the only grounds they gave you for refusal was that you didn't have a work permit. Would you not have thought to look for one before?
Well, I had thought that if I started just training or working there, then I could apply for one. But no.
All has to be obtained beforehand.
Yeah.
So they refused you and then they allowed you into
the UK
for 3 days.
With a refusal already on her record, it looks like the girl is going to become one of the 4,000 people turned away at Ireland's borders every year. Meanwhile, Officer Lally checks that all the details of the charity worker are correct and her paperwork is valid for her stay.
What did you say is the name of the place?
Friends of the Elderly.
You're not going to collecting flights.
Satisfied that everything is in order, he takes her photo for the immigration database.
Now, will you just stand there to get your photograph, please?
He explains that he's given her the maximum length of stay that he's allowed to. If she wants to stay longer, she'll have to apply for an extension at the immigration office in Dublin.
Now, I've given you till the 30th of August. That's the longest I can give you, so if you decide you want to stay on for a few days, you'll have to go to immigration and tell them, you know.
Officer Lally returns her documents and allows her to be on her way.
Yeah. Okay.
Back at Officer Flannery's booth, though, the young Australian isn't having as much luck.
So how many days do you intend coming here for? In total?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. How much money do you have with you for your stay?
I have 900 euros.
Unprepared and travelling without the correct work permit, he needs to assess whether he thinks she is a risk to island security.
Where are you going to stay here?
In Westmeath, Southern Ireland.
Westmeath, okay. Okay, so you're going to stay with him for 2 weeks?
Yes.
And then?
Fly to either Dubai, direct from here, or just use that route if Emirates won't let me change. Fly from here to Düsseldorf, then just use that.
Okay. Right, I'll allow you 2 weeks.
Okay.
Happy she is telling the truth and has enough funds to support her proposed stay in Ireland, he grants her access for 2 weeks. After that, she will have to leave Ireland and apply for the correct work permits to return.
Hopefully the visa will only take up to 3 months maximum. They have already notified us, and then I'll return to the UK to work.
At Dublin port, preparations are being made for the arrival of a massive international cargo ship, the San Fernando Rey. And that includes making sure security is tight. A record 36.4 million tonnes of cargo passed through the port in 2017, including half of Ireland's oil and 80% of its freight. So keeping on top of safety and security is a vitally important job. The San Fernando Rey needs careful attention. At 137 metres long and weighing over 12,000 tonnes, it can only be docked at certain times of the day when the water depth in the port is deep enough. A member of the port's team, known as a pilot, has headed out to the cargo ship to oversee docking the vessel. Safety is paramount. With a boat this big, an accident would be hugely dangerous. With his knowledge of the port, the pilot ensures the ship can safely dock. His presence is a requirement for all large commercial vessels arriving at the port. Once on board, he takes control of the ship and, with the help of tugs, manoeuvres into its docking position. Once secure, the port can start unloading the ship's cargo. While its dock security is tight, port officers police landslide, while the ship's security officer is responsible for on board. Nearly 4,000 illegal immigrants are deported from Ireland every year, around 15% of them from African countries. A ship the size of the San Fernando Rey is a perfect target for stowaways and criminals. And while the ship is docked, the security officer makes regular security searches.
Usually we made the security round around the ship every 4 hours. When I'm making a ship search, I'm looking for persons which I've never seen and maybe some strange or unknown, for me, unknown objects.
On this occasion, the security search turns up nothing. But he'll need to remain vigilant until the ship finally leaves Dublin port. Roadside checks have become a vital tool in the Road Safety Authority's battle against unroadworthy vehicles.
Right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Officer Liam Lawler is manning a roadside checkpoint. This trailer is going to need further investigation.
You have no number plate, no brake lights, and no right indicator.
Yeah, but when I go, it was working, you know what I mean?
Are you Polish?
Oh, Slovak.
Slovak.
Being part of the EU, driving on a Slovakian licence is perfectly legal. But breaking Irish traffic laws is not.
Okay, you don't have a licence to pull a trailer because this trailer has a maximum authorised mass of 2,700 kilos. You don't have the category here to pull the trailer, which is BE.
Ah, yeah, okay.
But you don't have that.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, this is a car licence.
Yeah, but I did this 96. I pay a course for that in Slovakia that I can pull the trailer.
It clearly shows here the EB licence, or BE, which is the same thing, car and trailer, which you don't have.
Yeah, this 96 means that I can pull any trailer to the size of 4.5 tons.
but you don't have the actual category license to pull a trailer at all, according to this. Well, there was a few things. The trailer didn't have proper brakes. There was no number plate, no brake lights, no indicator on the right. But the real issue was the license. He had a code 96 from Slovakia. Now, I don't understand the codes because obviously if there's 96 codes, he wouldn't remember them. But what it basically said was that he could pull a trailer up to a certain weight, which was 4,250 kilos, without what we would call a trailer license, which doesn't make sense.
This trailer's too heavy for the truck, and Officer Lawler believes the driver hasn't even got the necessary license to pull it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did this license.
And your van, I think, is 3,500 kilos, is that right?
Yeah.
A design weight?
Yeah.
So it needs...
Yeah, but that's why I did the license for pulling the trailer.
No, you didn't.
Officer Lawler is suspicious.
I can prove it.
Where did you do your test?
In Slovakia.
How long are you in Ireland?
I'm 15 years. I bought home caravan and that's why I did this special license.
You just went back to Slovakia for the purpose of getting this class on your license?
Yeah.
And why didn't you do your test here if you're here 15 years?
I don't know.
Whatever has happened, you still didn't get your category on your license here, BE. You did the test with the trailer?
No. In Slovakia, if you want to have a caravan or any trailer, you don't need to do any test. Just extend your license.
Without any test?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. He's saying that he didn't do the test, he just did a theory test, and he was able to get this extension on his license to pull a trailer. Now here we have a different system where if you want to pull that size of trailer, you have to do a test. So I need to look into it more.
Officer Lawler discusses it further with his colleague from the RSA. They have the power to pull the vehicle off the road if necessary.
I'm finished. Just get the trailer fixed. So.
This driver will have to get his trailer fixed. The Garda and RSA have his number.